Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new rFactor 2 video on the channel here. Every week we've been kind of doing some rFactor stuff where I do like NASCAR, add some fantasy track. Well, today actually we're replicating this past weekend's race in the Cup Series where NASCAR went to the Circuit of the Americas and they raced in the rain. So we're only going to be doing 10 laps. I'm going to be racing as Chase Elliott in the 9 car who won this past weekend. So I've messed with the weather because in rFactor we can race in the rain. So I got a Circuit of the Americas mod. I got the NASCAR mod, of course. So at the start of the race, it's going to be a 15% chance of rain. Then we're going to have 80%, 100% for the rest of the race. And we are going to actually have a qualifying session in the dry. And then, of course, it is going to transition into rain in the race. So we're going to jump into qualifying, see what we can do, where we can qualify. It's the difficulty is 117% and the max is 120. So hopefully we can do pretty good. So we're going to jump into the race here at Circuit of the Americas. Coming to start our qualifying lap. So we get up to 3 laps, I've set it to, but I'm only going to run one of them here. There's multiple cars on the track at a time. I've gotten all assists officially off. I've ran the anti-lock braking system on these cars, but I've got that off too, so that's going to be really sketchy, especially down that back straightaway. But the biggest difference I have really noticed is the car. This is the NASCAR mod. I've said this many times. This is not none of this that you're seeing in this video is I lose the back end of the car completely, actually. That's going to destroy our lap. But, so we're going to be starting in the back for sure, likely. But nothing about this car or this track are made by Studio 397. Keep that in mind. But I've been doing a whole bunch of Circuit of the Americas NASCAR stuff on iRacing, and the biggest notice is, or biggest difference I'm noticing is the grip levels. Right here, I am full throttle through here on rFactor. On iRacing, if I was full throttle through there, I was hands down going to crash. Another thing I'm noticing is the braking zones. You can really brake a lot later with this NASCAR mod on rFactor versus iRacing. But one of the similarities I'm noticing is just the way the car feels. It feels pretty tight, doesn't really want to turn very well. That's kind of something that feels pretty similar here. You got to be really careful on the braking, but you can see I braked right about where I was in iRacing all week, and that was clearly, at least it felt way too early to me on here, so I felt like I was able to brake a lot later. So I'm gonna have to try and adjust my kind of normal braking zones to kind of fit this mod here, and hopefully by the time the race comes around we can really get a handle on that. So I'm only going to make one qualifying lap. We made a mistake, whatever. We'll see where it kind of puts us for the race. I wouldn't be surprised if we're right at the back of the pack for it, and it will rain in the race. So I really want to see how kind of that translates. Is it going to be really hard to see out on the track like it was for the Wheel Cup guys with the water spray from the cars? I'm very excited to test that. We'll get some in-car camera, of course, to see what it looks like on the windshield. There's no windshield wipers on this car, unfortunately, so I'll have to stay on this roof cam specifically for that, just because there's no chance of seeing through that windshield when there's no windshield wipers with this NASCAR mod. But we come through the constant line. We hit a 220, a terrible lap compared to what I was doing on iRacing, but we're going to just call it there. Let's spin it around here. But there's so much grip in these cars as well, and I don't understand why. But it's very hard to spin it out, especially here. So we're going to jump into the race, though, and at least sim through qualifying, see where we qualify. But look, I'm currently quite a ways off on the grid, and as you can see, we're at the back of the pack. So sure enough, there's only 32 cars, but 10 laps at Circuit of the Americas. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to skip the formation lap here in just a moment, but I'm just most curious to see what these guys are going to be like under these conditions when it starts raining, especially, and how the kind of back spray is from these cars on my windshield and whatnot. So you'll be seeing me go into this view a little bit here and there just to kind of get an idea of what the visibility is like. We don't have windshield wipers, of course, with this mod, so I'm going to be on this roof cam, like I said, most of the time. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless. So we're going to skip that formation lap and get ready to go green. Here we go. The green flag is out and we are underway. We are checking up really awkwardly, and I'm going to just stay back. I'm not going to take advantage of this because if I go 3 wide into turns 1, these guys are just going to run me off the road. The AI does not care if you are in the racing line. If you got it, they're just going to run into you. So we're going to just play it safe here on the start. I did turn the AI down a little bit to 110 out of 120 instead of 117, I think it was. But we're going to try and make a move here. But once again, you see that 62? He was not going to give me that line whatsoever. And rightfully so. That was his corner. But we're going to try and take advantage of these guys just going absolutely crazy. Jamie McMurray, I don't know where in the world that speed came from. But look in the right bottom of the screen. You see the weather. Rain, 0% track. Wetness basically is what that is. It's currently between 0 and 0. I do not want to be 3 wide right there. Got to be very patient through this section of the course when you're around traffic. But you still have a ton of grip through here, which definitely isn't very accurate now. I'm still trying to get this braking zone figured out, but oh, I was pretty deep into that one. Oh my goodness, we got a big incident up in front of us, 81. Jeffrey Earnhardt just hopped the little like sausage curb and up and over he went. I don't know what the heck that was about, but we are in a drag race here with someone. I'm going to see what's going on here. It's Brendan Gaughan on my left, but we have that draft right there from Keselowski. Where are they braking? Oh my gosh, they brake so late up into the inside. Got to force my way in here, McMurray. I did also turn the anti-lock brakes onto low as, oh my goodness, that was a little sketch right there. I lost some time because of that, but we might be able to fight back. I'm going to kind of send it right here up the inside of the 40. Make that work. Clear him a little bit of contact, no big deal. And we get in front of McMurray, but it is raining now, so it did not take long whatsoever for the rain to start pouring down. We'll switch to the interior in a few minutes just to kind of get a feel of that. But yeah, the rain is coming down, so now we got to be ready to pit for wet tires. I don't think it is wet enough yet to pit. Everyone is staying out, but we will 100% need the wet tires. So I do get that ready now as, oh, that rain is coming down as there goes a whole little cone flying. McMurray got into my left rear a little bit. No underspray from the cars. I don't even know. Maybe there won't be any underspray from these guys. But let's get that stuff back on the screen there. You can see how wet the track is. I'm just going to send it here on the 88 of Bowman. We make it work. But the track is going to get wet very, very quick when that rain picks up. The rain is only at 20% right now, so it's not going to get very wet out here very quick at this rate. So we still got time, and I mean right now the grip levels feel okay, and I'm going to send it up the inside of the 17. Once again, he just casually turns into me, but definitely want to get as much ground as we can get here before it gets too wet out here and we have to put the wet tires on, because I don't know how my pace against AI in the wet conditions are going to be, especially in other racing games where like F1, the AI for some reason always just is able to just haul the mail in wet conditions. So we got to get whatever we can get here now, as we are already up into 24th place, which is only 8 spots up from last, as I'm going to try and cover off that 17. He hit that curb, but he didn't go flipping over some other cars, thankfully. Now on the interior view, I don't actually know if the water is going to get on the windshield, so that's interesting. So it might not be an issue for us here today in Circuit of the Americas now. Thank goodness, as we go down this long straightaway. You can still brake very aggressive into there right now. It's not wet enough, but the rain's staying at about 20%. I was going to try and make a move, but then the 8, he was the first one to do it, so I'm just going to try and follow him through some contact, and he is not going to give me any room whatsoever. Oh, I tried to turn him, but we're just going to lunge up that left-hand side, and I lost the back end. We're okay. We save it. Track is definitely getting wet. And all I have to do is hit the green button on my steering wheel to request a pit stop. And I'm going to request it very late. If I see these guys pitting right here, I'm going to come in probably with them. But right now, honestly, actually, oh, you can see the spray coming up from the cars, by the way. But they're staying out. And it definitely doesn't feel like we're at that kind of turnover point yet here as we go down into the final corner. But you can definitely see, I think they were calling it, what, the rooster tail from the cars and whatnot, as I did not get through there very good. Here comes the 8 of Reddick. It was very, very fast. Down into turns 1, I brake at that, I think it was the 150, I braked that as I'm going with a defensive line here into the corner. Got through there pretty well. Definitely going to be hard here to run down these guys up in front of us, but once we get to 50% wet on the track, I think I wouldn't be surprised if some guys start considering coming into the pit lane. But we are really excelling through the S's compared to these guys. But look at the spray coming up, and the track is only between 13 and 40% wet right now. So you can almost get an idea of what these guys were dealing with yesterday in real life. Now I'm going to be very interested to see what it's like down this back straightaway. Definitely the pace is starting to give up, but I still have a lot of grip. So I'm very surprised by the amount of grip I have in this car. Under braking, it's kind of trying to get away a little bit, but definitely feel like there shouldn't be as much grip in it right now. Could be just because it's a mod, of course, but we go back into the interior, and you can see the spray, but there's no water on the windshield, which I think is another effect of the mod as well. On an actual car developed by Studio 397, I think we would have that water spray on the window. Oh man, it did not feel comfortable right there. But right now, I still do not think the track is wet enough to come in, because it's not even half wet. So I say we just stay. I'm going to make a very aggressive move right here. It's probably going to give me zero room. It'll probably hit me in the side. No, we actually clear him before the corner. 49% now on the track wetness. Rain's still only at 20%. I don't even know if it's going to go above that, to be honest with you. We'll have to wait and see. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it does, of course, but these guys... Oh, we're checking up. Oh, we're okay. They're pitting. I think we can do another lap, personally. Oh, I say that, and I lost a lot of grip right there. So I'm going to stay out one extra lap, because I feel like we can still get some decent pace going. And I'm not the only one. I see some cars behind us, and of course some cars ahead of us. So I think we're going to be okay to stay out here for the time being. As we go down into turns one, I like to kind of take a more inside line into that corner. I don't know if that's really helping me with time, but the S's right here, we really seem to be a lot better through it than the AI are right now in the rain. So I'm really able to attack still, but definitely can feel that grip kind of going away. But there's still a lot of grip in the car, so I'm not concerned right now. If the rain, of course, picks up, then definitely we're going to have to bring it in. Definitely starting to feel that grip go away, and I think it's time to bring it in here. I'm going to request a pit stop. It is, we're losing all the grip all of a sudden. It kind of came out of nowhere. And you can see it right now. Oh my goodness. The AI are not having that issue though. They're really not having an issue at all. But I am losing grip like crazy. So we're bringing it in this time by. You can see the temperatures going right there. They're not happy. Yeah, we got to bring it in right here. Crew is ready for the pit stop. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody pits in. It looks like, sure enough, that is the case. So we're going to come in. Hopefully, I haven't tried entering the pit lane here, but okay, we got through there pretty good. It's 62 miles per hour. You hear that annoying Cota horn that they always have on the pit lane? I don't know where my pit box is, but my guess is toward the end. Who is this guy? Is this the 42? Yeah, he's going really slow. I don't see my pit box anywhere. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. Oh, awkward. I just turned the 42 into his pit box, just trying to give him an assist. So they're going to work on the car, and hopefully we get a good stop here. It says 15 seconds or so. So it shouldn't be too bad. But the wet tires are going on. And are we good to go? I don't know if we're good to go. There we go. You see all these guys getting out in front of us, but we actually beat the 42 out of the pit lane. So there we go. And now we're going to see what we have with now the wet tires on. Not a whole lot of grip. At least for the time being. Look at the spray coming from these cars right here. I'm going to be interested to see what we can do now. We actually still are up in P12, so a nice gain overall. But yeah, the grip right now is not very good. And now we're kind of just at a crawl around the S's. What am I, 70 miles per hour right now? It is not feeling great, but we got to get aggressive here. Trying to make a move around the left-hand side. That's in itself a bit of a challenge. He's actually going to give me room. That's surprising. I'm not going to give you room, though. Oh, we come together, and honestly, that just about ended horrifically. We're still side by side with the 32 of Corey LaJoie here, as I really want that position. I feel like I brake way too late, but wow, I felt the tires slide pretty good right there, and that opens the door for the 32 to try and cross this over. I'm going to go a little bit defensive and recover him off right there. Obviously, in real life, we saw some big crashes through this area of the course because guys could not see in real life now. And for some reason, everyone felt the need to just judge the whole race off of a couple incidents where guys had issues with visibility there. I thought the racing, other than those two big crashes, was actually tremendous. We saw a great display of just the skill that NASCAR drivers really do have. And I saw that a lot of people thought the race was terrible, and I think that's an awful opinion to have. Is the racing, when they didn't have those awful crash moments, the racing was tremendous. And you definitely need to, I think, kind of open yourself more to worldwide motorsports, which does rain racing regularly. First gear, probably just not the smartest in these conditions, but I keep doing it. But look at how much better they're able to just put the throttle down. That's just wrong. Now is Newman. I'm going to leave the door open for him because in turns one, I'm going to be able to just get him. Oh, I went a little bit deep into there. Didn't feel good, but it works out. Newman, could he pull the switch back? He tries. He definitely is going to give it a shot here into the S's. Can't quite pull it off. But I am just hanging on now for dear life at this point here. As right here, there's just not a lot of grip, but we're able to hang on for the time being. Oh, I lost grip. I lost grip. I lost grip. Just spin it around. That's not a smart place to try and do that. But we spin it around in time and we're going to get back going. I couldn't keep it down there, locked down, and around it went. And now down to, what, 19th, 20th. We saw guys losing it by themselves yesterday. And that's exactly what happens right there as we go down the straightaway. Here comes the 17. I'm going to throw a block, but look at that spray. And it was worse in real life than what you're seeing right here. As, oh my goodness. Once again. Oh, I just got turned by the 17. Oh, it's the downfall of my whole career right here. I was going to try and get it recovered, but now we're in last place with coming to 3 laps to go. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to run these guys down because they are just so lightning fast when it comes to the rain. 3 laps to go in Cota. We're actually surprisingly not losing a whole lot of time. When we're down in the really slow corners like this, the AI are just able to just put the throttle down in a downpour and just go. And I'm not, of course, able to do that because you shouldn't be able to do that. So that's the only annoying part right now. But at other parts in the track, we're actually able to close up. Like we come to these S's and you can just see that I'm currently losing the car, first of all, and that's not going to end well. And that's just how tricky these wet conditions are. It is such a different dynamic, of course, and we've completely, of course, thrown the race away at this point. A learning curve when you're at a stock car in the rain. It's just frustrating that the AI are able to just be so lightning fast when these conditions are horrendous. It honestly doesn't even look like the track is very wet right now. You'd expect it to look like there's water on the track and be shiny. I don't know, maybe if it's at the normal tracks that are not mods, it might actually be properly done. But here, like, you don't even notice a difference in the surface of the track. You're just feeling the difference, of course, and you're seeing the rain coming down. But overall, got to work on our rain racing, and if we get lucky and have rain in NASCAR, the game 21, if that sure enough is the name, as I break really late there, but we make it work. But if we have rain in that game, then hopefully this is going to be a good tool for myself to kind of get used to that and prepare. But obviously we don't know if that's going to be a thing in the next NASCAR game. I, of course, would love it because we got, what, 8 road courses on the schedule for NASCAR this season, so rain would be a huge addition to the current, or the new game, if we could get it now and have some racing in the rain, because we know that they're able to do it in rFactor, so I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do it in the next game. There's I had just so little grip right there as we're just hanging on for the final half a lap now. But we're just crawling around here, but we're slowly but surely getting to the finish of this race now, as I just went full throttle for a second, and well, here we go for a bit of a slide, and we save it kind of at about 30 miles per hour. How much time have we lost this lap? About 3, almost 4 seconds on Joey Logano as we're just crawling here through the final carousel down towards the penultimate corner. Nonetheless, it was fun, other than the fact that, or it was fun up until the point that the AI were just long gone. So as we go down into this final turn, though, we're gonna bring it home in 32nd place. At least we didn't finish in 40th because, well, there's not 40 cars. So down the front straightaway one final time, and we come through to finish 32nd of 32 cars as we're just gonna sail it off into turn one here. I don't know if we can get any air or not. Oh, but we can definitely get a barrier. Oh my goodness, we're on top. We got over the barriers and we have now died. All right, so there you guys have some Circuit of the Americas rain racing here on rFactor 2 with the NASCAR mod. It went just about as bad as I expected when we got those wet tires on, but it was still fun to kind of show what it kind of feels like, and it's clear that these physics and whatnot, they're no joke with this next NASCAR game. So I'm very excited with what I'm seeing and whatnot, and hopefully that weather and whatnot is something that kind of moves over into the NASCAR game as well. So if you guys enjoyed, though, you know what to do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.